Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Hopefully you are doing really well. It is almost the game week 10 deadline and I need to get our little game week 10 preview out of the way. So if you've been enjoying the content, make sure you like, comment and subscribe. Let's get straight into it. Quick game week 9 recap we've got for you. 94 points all out, gave us a relatively big green arrow, getting us to 364,000 in the world from about 600k or 700k. It was about a 400 odd k green arrow in the end, which for us was fantastic. You can see here we used our triple captain. We did speak about that on the podcast. Erling Haaland could have had an absolute field day. Brighton sort of started the way I thought the game would go, but then they tightened up and Haaland wasn't able to get more than the one return, which is a little bit disappointing. But we take it. Mo Salah showing that he's a fantastic option moving forward and very happy that we kept him. I ended up only making the one move last week, which was Kabore to Tsimikas, and that paid off with dividends as well. And then Heung-min Son paid us back, and Darwin not starting was a bit disappointing, but he did get ourselves an assist straight off the bat there coming off of the bench. So again, 94 points. You take -8 there, say if we didn't triple captain Haaland. It's not the end of the world. It's 86 without the triple captain, but I don't think that we particularly are getting what we got without that triple captain as well. So I'm kind of happy that we used it in the end because now I don't have to worry about it for the rest of the season. Again, there's probably going to be some double game weeks and things that come up that I didn't get to utilise it for, but I just thought that Brighton at home was too good of a fixture and a little bit disappointing that Haaland amongst the other captaincy choices was the worst anyway. So a little bit disappointing there, but it is what it is. What I want to go through today is what my thinking is long-term around our team. You can see Udogie has a flag here as well. Muscle injury, 75% chance of playing. There's a rumour that's why he came off early. Apparently he picked it up in game week 9 against Fulham. And then as soon as Spurs went 2-0 up, they hoofed him off, which meant that he didn't get the clean sheet or the extra point for playing another 5 minutes. It would have been nice if Andrew does know fantasy football, kept him on the pitch, but it is what it is. It doesn't matter. It would have been nice to pick up an extra 5 points, get us to 99, and our rank probably could have been inside the top 200k. That's how tight things are at the moment. So what we've got is there's a few options for us, but I have made my move already. You might notice that a certain player has emerged back into my team, and it is Gabriel of Arsenal. Again, starting to look a lot better. They obviously had 2 clean sheets there against Bournemouth, Man City, and then they drew 2-2 with Chelsea coming back in that game away from home. You could see, though, how consistently he's been playing 90 minutes from game week 4 through to 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. He's played 90 minutes. This is the reason why we picked him at the start of the season. So we obviously sold him pretty early before he dropped. We've now brought him back in at 4.7 million. Again, more so just trying to get ahead of the curve here. I want to get that Sheffield game in this week because I wasn't happy with my defence. The way that the team was this player was Sven Botman. Udogie was going to play. And I wasn't actually sure if Udogie was going to play anyway, to be honest. But I just feel that Gordon was the better option than Udogie. That's what was going to happen anyway. So Gordon was going to play instead. But I don't particularly like the Wolves away fixture from an attacking perspective for Newcastle anyway. So I was probably leaning towards if I brought Gabriel in, I'm going to bench him. Again, I only had the one free transfer this week. But I'm very happy using it again because next week we'll go into what my team looks like moving forward as well. I'm very happy with what the team's looking like moving forward. So again, everyone's going to have optimal teams at the moment. A lot of people have wildcarded. A lot of people are wildcarding this week. So I think a lot of people are going to have similar teams that we get Areola against Everton, which isn't the best fixture because their defence just hasn't looked fantastic. West Ham have only kept 1 clean sheet. But they get a good run of fixtures here. So I'm really keen to see how West Ham respond. They're playing a lot of games at the moment too. Hopefully a few clean sheets from Areola. I don't expect to play Turner really at all in this run because he has some tough fixtures. So I'm really relying on Areola for some returns. Matty Cash has the greatest XGI amongst defenders in the league. And he gets Luton at home, then Forest and Fulham. I'm very excited to see what Villa can do, number one, but also if they can keep some clean sheets and Cash can get some attacking returns. He is 34% owned, so still I'd class that as a differential. Again, he's sort of one in every sort of 5 to 6 or every 6 teams. So not too bad there for Matty Cash. Tsimikas, again, didn't play this morning at all, I don't think. So, again, real fresh, ready to go for this Forest game. Trippier's Trippier. He's moved himself up to 7 million. He's going to be my enabler if I want to bring in some other big players moving forward. And we've spoken about Gabriel already. Diaby, someone I'm really frustrated with at the moment. The returns have not been there since I brought him in. I think I got this Brighton game, but then he's gone 2-2. So I pulled my game. I know. I think I had him in 7, but, it's been a bit frustrating. 3-8-2-2. Need him to start, returning. Son against Crystal Palace. This could be a big return. I still think Crystal Palace are struggling a bit with their injuries, so very excited to see what Son can do. And then Bowen and Salah are just absolute locks at the moment. Bowen looking like he's going to play up front is even more damaging. He's only 20% owned. Very good differential. Has gone 7-9-2-8 in his last 4. Very, very excited to see what Bowen can do. 90-minute man. Has taken penalties in the past, so he's just essential. He's an essential player for me for this run all the way through pretty well to my next wild card, which will be sort of these mid-20s, I'd anticipate. He really gets Arsenal and Man twice, and every other fixture there is fantastic. So I'm very excited to see what Bowen can produce. And Mo Salah, Captain Salah this week with Forest, Luton, Brentford, Man City, Fulham, Sheffield, Palace, Man United. Fixtures are fine. He's looking like an absolute beast at the moment. He's not playing it to his best, which is the scary part. He's getting lucky with some penalties, but the XG's there, the XA's there. So I'm very, very excited to see what Mo Salah can produce, especially at home. Liverpool typically are a lot stronger at home. And then we've got the Darwin-Haaland combination up front. Haaland was in the 90s owned. He's now down to 85%. So I'm hoping that we can get some returns to punish those that have got rid of Erling Haaland. And then Darwin Núñez up front. Played about 65 minutes, scored 1, missed an absolute sitter this morning against Toulouse. I think he's primed, ready to start this week. Darwin's someone who I'm going to have to play the situation. If I can just get him for these 2 games to start, then I'll probably look to move him to Ollie Watkins at some point. So that's the team. We've got Gordon in case something goes wrong again. Not an optimal bench, but it's not an optimal fixture this week. He'll probably actually play for me next week against Arsenal because I think they're going to be more likely to score against Arsenal more goals than they are against Wolves. Wolves very defensively right now. I've only conceded 1 goal over the last month. So, 1 goal each game over the last month. So Anthony Gordon for me is just a very good bench utility option, and Udogi someone I'm looking at moving eventually, but I'm not going to rush that. Botman was more of the issue for me. I didn't know when I was going to play him, and that sort of alludes to where my team's at. So we've seen our game week 10 team. It's predicted 92 rating overall, but a 95 rating there. I'm pretty sure we've got 1.1 in the bank, so don't worry about what Fantasy Football Hub says. For next week, without any transfers, I really want to roll next week. Again, Udogi sits on the bench for us. Gabriel comes to the bench for Gordon. I'm going to take the attacking potential in that game over doubling up on the 2 defences. So that's just more out of situation, pardon me. But again, fixtures look good. Cash has Forest. Tsimikas has Luton. Same with Salah and Darwin. And then Son has Chelsea at home. Again, Chelsea's defensively has been okay, but Son's been very good. Bowen gets Brentford, Diaby gets Forest, and Haaland gets Bournemouth. So again, very solid position next week. And then with 2 transfers, that's what we're left with in game week 12. Again, Areola has Forest, Tsimikas has Brentford, Gabriel has Burnley, Bournemouth, Fulham. Again, we've got Brighton, we've got Wolves, we've got Gordon here actually. He's probably going to play for us instead of Tsimikas that week against Bournemouth away. And that's the team. Bowen has Forest, Diaby has Fulham, Son has Wolves, Salah has Brentford, Haaland, Chelsea again. That's probably a debate of who you're going to captain. And then you've got Darwin against Brentford with probably Tsimikas your first sub. And then you've got 2 transfers. Can we make Ollie Watkins work in that week? I don't know. Trippier could come down to someone because then they go Chelsea, Man United. We could downgrade Trippier to someone to upgrade Darwin. So I think the team's in a really, really good position. Hopefully you guys are having some really good fantasy luck at the moment. Ranks are very, very tight. 1 or 2 big game weeks and you can absolutely catapult up the ranks. If you've liked the content, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys very, very soon for some game week 11 previews.